Wow, I had a bit of a scare, ladies. My computer was not working correctly. Wow, I feel like I want to sing. Uh, Not working correctly. And I had a reboot. But actually, I rebooted before I got on. So it's like, what's happening here? So, welcome to Makeshift Happen today. I don't know why. There's a song within me that wants to come through. Ah. I can just imagine those of you that are new to me joining me now, like, what's going on with this woman? I don't know. Because we got people joining us from the Emerald Compass Facebook group, Facebook page. We got people joining us from YouTube page. Yeah. Anyway, welcome. I'm Tammy Lee. I'm an accelerated, deeply motivated to help you to transform and heal those inner wounds that we all came here with. That it's time to step up and dive deep because the world is waiting for you. The world is waiting for you. Did you know that when we heal ourselves, especially when we heal our mother line, that we can affect change going over, going beyond 12 generations before us and what's out in front of us. I remember hearing this story by one of my mentors, and it hit me um, when he told the story and how relevant it seemed. Because how many of you think that you just being around that your everyday life that you don't make a difference? How many of you just like, oh, not sure if I do, especially when you're in the mix of daily living and you don't know if you're making a difference. I think we all question that at some point in our life, sometimes daily even. And I remember this story Satyan shared with us as we're sitting in front of him, talking about the energy of what we are and the energy of what we leave behind. So imagine this. You're walking in a park and you're just minding your own business and you get attacked by two men. You're getting attacked by two people and you're fighting for your life and you're fighting for your life and you're fighting for your life. And you know you're going to die. You just can't hold on any longer. You're being pulverized. On one side, I want you to like really feel this. On one side, so there's two different scenarios. One is you just give up. Towards the very end, you give up. And then there's this other side. You know you're going to die and you fight to the end. You fight to the end. See, there's a different energy of what we leave, what we are now, and what we leave behind us. And there's a lot of times when our children, our lineage, if they're aware enough, they have to clean it up. or it will affect them and their lives. So, thinking about this story, this scenario, can you see how by just giving up, you can leave that give up energy in your lineage? That maybe somebody in your in your ancestry even had that energy, and it affected you to this in this day and time. See, this lifetime, this lifetime for me, I have always been a survivor. I've always been a fighter. And now that I'm transitioning into the sage time of my life, because I'm through menopause. It's 12/12 right now. That's interesting. I don't know. It just showed me 12/12. Anybody know what that is? Please share. So, and it does get tiring, right? It does get tiring when you always have to fight, when you're always in that survival mode. That's what my teenage years were about, was survival. And that has actually carried me into my adulthood. And it actually tripped me up a couple times too. So, but now that I've healed so much of that, I've allowed that to let go. But when we look at what has, how do I say this? When we just stop and think and look at what affects us now, because something that really, really, and I know I mentioned this last week, but something that has really come to come to light for me is how, and I've been unwinding all these things, is how a title, having a title, having a label, because was important to me. Having a title or having a label was important to me. And realizing more layers and layers and layers of that, right? Realizing more and more layers of that. Because that's something that's how we actually do our work, is when we find something, let's go into like, well, where else has this affected me? Where else is there layers of this? So for instance, talking with a dear friend yesterday, seeing how having a label, having a title, having a piece of paper has really directed my life, has really, honestly, has underneath it is what made me feel important, like I was worthy and I mattered. So right there, as soon as that pops up, it's like, wow, that's an energy, tracking into that energy and seeing where that goes and healing that. Because that's something that followed me in this lifetime. That's something within probably both my mom and dad. And who knows, maybe their mom and dad, of not feeling significant enough without that title, without that label. Because when we think about where our parents came from and their generation and what they lived through, and they were like, a lot of them were corporate world. That's the time when women started working. So when we find that, so realizing that having a title, or having the right way to say something, or having a label that reflects on who I am was so important that I would not let things go that no longer serve me. Like, I'm finding this. It's such a crazy cool experience. There it's just like aha moment after aha moment after aha moment. And this all started to shift through last week, Tuesday. I shared it with you on Wednesday. And then, and let me share something with you. Okay, so last week, Wednesday, I told y'all that I was not going to renew my insurance license and how confident I felt. I felt confident sharing that. And then that night I had a conversation with another beloved friend, and she helped me to see a different aspect. And that made me like, and she didn't do it to make me rethink my own decision. She's like, "Oh, Tammy, I could have used your help." And, "Oh, Tammy, this." And, "Oh, Tammy." And it's like, so she's helping me to see another side. And so that brought back that confusion and that uncertainty again of, well, maybe I should spend the money, invest the money and invest that 18 hours and then I went to bed with that. And then Thursday, I brainstormed and masterminded with another friend, and she helped me to see even a more advanced picture of what was going on. What's really interesting is I pre-scheduled that time with my other beloved friend on Thursday last week, not knowing this would be the conversation we would be having, not knowing that she would help me to open up to new thoughts, new realities, new ways of seeing myself. And by doing that, I heard a confirming, resounding no within me. No, do not renew your insurance license. So having those go-to people, having your go-to people, ladies, is vital for your life. It's vital for who you are and what you want to become. It's vital for your emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, and etheric health to be able to call up somebody that has no agenda, that can see you more than you can see yourself, that wants to see you rise up into all your full potential. Rise up in all your full potential. Some that you have not even tapped on yet. Some that is still coming through. Some that is just waiting there for you to recognize it. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we do. Your full potential is waiting for you. Do you have that friend that you can turn to? Do you have that community? Do you have that resource that can help you unwind your blind spots and help you to tap in and re 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 what's the word? Remember your full potential. Ooh, that just got me goosebumps. Do you have that? If not, will you commit to start to develop that? because your full potential, another word is spirit, another word is your essence, your full potential is waiting for you to remember it, to recalibrate it, to unwind the blind spots to it. And it takes work. And it's not for the faint at heart. Ever since last week, these unwindings have been happening. Ever since I said no to something that no longer serves me. So I want you to think what no longer serves you, what actually came from your lineage that is theirs, but not yours. That is theirs, but you took on because you didn't know any better. And no longer serves you, no longer supports you of where you want to go. Start to think about those different things. Just like a closet. Yikes, right? Yikes. Just like a closet. I don't know why they brought me that one to say, because I guess I need to start looking at my closets again. I still have old clothes in there that I've either spent a lot of money on, and it's like, oh gosh, do I really get rid of this? Like I know, see, I even got emotion with that. It's like I feel like I'm disrespecting something. Maybe the money if I get rid of it. But my closets, even one of my daughters said, "Mom, how do you have so much stuff in your closet?" They're all filled. So what no longer supports me? What no longer fits? Shit though. I might get back down to that size one day. One day, one day, one day. And I have another daughter that says, "Then go buy something new, Mom. You'll deserve it." I still have the clothes from when I worked in the corporate world. I haven't worn those. And I've looked through them and I'm like, oh, maybe one day I'll wear that. Not back in the corporate world, but it's like, oh, but that's really nice. Oh, well, maybe something will come up and I'll have to wear that. Yeah. See, I go through it too, ladies. So, where in our life are we actually holding ourselves down, holding ourselves prisoner, holding ourselves back from reaching our full potential? Yes, some of it's in our mind, but some of it's also physical. Some of it is also physical. So just take a deep breath as you think about where you're holding yourself back. What actually came through your lineage that does not serve you? That does not serve you. I want to ask you, and all of you that are listening, whether it's live right now or on the replay, what do you think about this? I had somebody that asked me this the other day, Tammy, do you want to be transformational or inspirational? And she was talking about the difference between business and personal, or business, the different parts of your business or something. Can't remember how she referenced it, but it was either, and I'm thinking, well, can't I be inspirational and create transformation? Right? So, because because here's something. Inspirational transformation. Somebody posted something this morning that, and I was in a rush, like I was in that rush mode. I could feel my energy, like, got to get it done, got to get this done, got to get that done. Oh shit! I gotta, I gotta reboot my computer before I get on for makeshift happen. Oh no, I didn't even post about it. Oh my gosh, I gotta do that yet. And I'm like, gotta get this done, gotta get this done, this and like, right? How many of you go through that? We all do, right? And as I was creating the post for through StreamYard, which you all know I use because it actually tells you. Um, okay, so by doing that, when I was in the midst of that, I saw a post by a dear friend, and just reading that post helped me to just like I could feel my body take a breath. I could feel my body take a breath. We can be inspired transformationalists. Yes, we can. And you can make money doing it. Because not only people transform when they work with me, they are inspired to live a glorious life, creating their own heaven on earth. So, what has come down to you from your mom, from your dad, from your grandmother, from your grandfather? See, titles were really important back then. Titles were very significant. That's my dad owns a bar. He used to own a different business. And that clout, I guess you would say, that prestige, that's a good word. The prestige he gets from being the owner of a business, because he's going to be 81 in a couple days, and he's wanting to sell the bar. He's wanting to sell his current business, and I'm just thinking, because he's in good shape. He can run circles around some 60-year-olds. Honestly, he's very active, and I'm thinking, gosh, that closes. If he sells the bar and everything that comes along with it, what's he going to do with his life? Because he is the CEO right now. He is the owner. He is, oh, Bob. Where's he going to get that recognition at? That he's so used to. Do you ever see that in this older generation? Okay, so I'm going to be 60 in about 3 weeks. So I'm talking above 60. That when they have a title or when they feel like they have a significance. And see, we got that too. Like, what are we doing to make ourselves feel like we matter? I was hanging on to that insurance license because it had a piece of paper to it. That made me feel like I was smart. And you know what? I let that go on Thursday, and the next day, one of my mentors, because I just finished a 12-week course with her, with freaking deep girls, freaking deep. She's like, so I release, okay, get this. So I release the insurance paper. I released my insurance license paper on Thursday, and on Friday, the very next day, I hear from this teacher, this mentor of mine, Okay, and I need everybody that's on this call, I need your address so I can send you a certificate of completion. I'm like, what? Did not know we were getting that. What? Uh-uh. Seriously. I cracked up laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh. That is the one thing, a part of why I was hanging on to the insurance license, because it was a piece of paper that helped me to say I'm smart enough. But now I know I am. Now I know I am. It was like I needed that crutch, but I no longer do. So what do you have right now that you're using as a crutch? What is it that mom and dad brought forth, grandma and grandpa brought forth, that you brought forth from another lifetime? Yeah. And then keep going under that and under that and under that to discover what can you let go of today? What is keeping you stuck? Because as soon as we clear those things out, even the fact of wanting to work with this friend, of why I actually went through that whole process of getting my insurance license. That was part of the deal. That was part of the of what yeah, that was part of the goal, was to work with this friend side by side, create a business in Kansas. He's in Colorado. He was going to be my mentor, and it did not work. It just never came into Kansas. And but that was like a 10-year vision back. Like that was over 10, that's a 10-year-old vision. That is a 10-year-old vision that I let that go too. When I said no more, it's like I let go of a vision that no longer supported me either, of where I'm going, of where I am right now and where I'm going. And I don't know all that, but I do know that I know that by allowing that vision to go, because that's not in my best interest, energetically, especially, energetically, especially. So we got to think also between what do we allow energetically into our life? And are there agendas with that? You know that saying, your work, your job, your business, however you want to say it, but your work that you do in your life, it's got to be something you would do for free. Like you love it that much. You love it that much. Well, that's part of what was tied around these knots of that's why I got the insurance licenses, because there was a financial agenda with that instead of an energetic, soul field. Yeah, it was going to be exciting to be able to work with this friend. I could learn a lot from him. But you know what? He can learn a lot from me too. I'm more like it's have you ever felt this? Or maybe you're starting to, with all this new energy coming in. Like there is old world, old paradigm stuff, and there's new world and new paradigm stuff. And you gotta almost, it's almost like you gotta choose. Do you want to be stuck over here that feels a little bit way down, or do you want to let these things go as you can see to let go? It was a whole process for me to see what I needed to let go last week. It was over 3 days of a process and talking it out to I feel more air here and I feel more space here. That doesn't mean I exactly know what's happening because this is a leap of faith. But I've started to clear the space for it by saying no to these other things, by realizing, by unwinding all those parts are like, because I was even just Monday, no, let's say today's Wednesday, even just yesterday, realizing again, as I've been highly encouraged to create an in-person class here around energy. And by doing that, I was getting tied back up in knots around the name of it. So there's still some stuff there, like the title, the name, the label. And I just like, but now I'm catching myself. So this is one of the ways you know that you're making improvement is when you catch yourself more and more and more. Because how many times have we healed something? We really know we've healed it. We did the work and oh yeah, that's healed. It's not, and then maybe months or a year later, maybe 5 years later, that thought or that trigger comes back again. And you're like, but I've worked on this. But it's here again. It's just now that you've cleared the space, more of it can come up. And you know, because I actually asked a priest friend of mine, Father Frank, years ago. God, 20 years ago. Holy cow. No, 25? Oh my gosh, it's been that long. 25 or more years ago. Because I really, really diligently started working on myself actually when I turned 28. When I turned 28, that was the beginning of my process of finding me. And okay, so let me go back to that in a moment. But I would ask Father Frank, like, I'm working so hard on healing myself and but these different challenges keep coming up, keep coming. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And he's like, Tammy, you know that it's working when it comes up and you have less energy attached to it. You're not triggered as big, as deep, as quick. And as soon as he said that to me, it's just like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, it's not as big or as deep. And so when I turned 28 and I started doing my thing, started healing, didn't even know there was stuff there that I had to heal. So but one of the catapults that did that for me, that I said, okay, I am not going to be like that, was my older sister turned 30. And she was so distraught when she turned 30, knowing she was turning 30. I mean, distraught, full of hate for the number 30. I couldn't believe how she just reacted to turning 30. And I saw that whole thing of what she went through, and I'm like, I committed, like, I will not turn 30 and be like that. But it was seeing an outside source and their reaction to something that helped me prepare for a lifetime event. And when I turned 30, it was all about going out and celebrating who I am. Yes. I got with girlfriends. Wow, that was my 30th birthday. I let my husband be pissed, grumbly about it, even though I told him 6 weeks beforehand. My older sister came from another town, spent the night with me. It was on a Thursday night. The women that went and hung out with me, it was okay that it was on a work night. My sister took vacation and we celebrated me. I'm turning 60. Had a daughter call this morning and she's like, "Mom, what are we doing for your 60th birthday?" I'm like, "I don't know. Nothing feels right." Because I don't just do it to do it. See, again here, energy. What feels right? Dig into it. Follow that energy. What feels right? What feels right? What feels like joy within you? I know to celebrate myself. That I do know. Yes, I'm going to be going somewhere in July. But but May is my birthdays. May, the month of May, is my transitional time. So now that's back in the forefront. What feels right? And not saying yes to something that doesn't feel completely aligned. What do you have in your life right now that you're not feeling completely aligned with? As you all know, for me, it was this renewing of my insurance license. There was something there that just didn't feel aligned anymore. And I allowed myself to be okay with that, to work through that, to talk to other friends or mentors about it that had no agenda, that helped me to see through it, because it was like the curtains were kind of closed, like cloudy, misty, and they helped me to clear the mist. Who do you have? Again, I'm going to ask you, who do you have in your life that you can go to and share things about yourself that's going to help you to break through, to find what's keeping you held back? There's something. It could be something so minute. Can it be a health issue that you are saying later too? I found some things out about myself lately that I didn't even know were there. My husband, I take him to a physical therapist for his thing, and that she's not covered by insurance, so it's fully out of pocket, but she's freaking ex she is astonishing at what she does. Astonishing. Okay. So it's worth every investment. It's worth every moment of investment going to her. So why was I saying this? There was a reason there. Oh, but because my husband went and I was so impressed at how she just looked him over and did the different things with him and was like, "Oh wow, I'm going to have an appointment with this lady. Maybe there's something going on with me that I don't know." Oh my gosh, girls, flip dang, did she find things with me? I'm like, "Holy cow, didn't even know these things were off." Or I didn't know she would be the person to help me, like, because every now and then my right foot would kind of drag. I'd be walking along and it'd be like drag all of a sudden. I'm like, what is that? And one of the things I found out is that my glutes are not firing like they should. I don't know that. I went to an expert. Didn't know I was supposed to go there, but because through osmosis, right? And I said, I'm going to try her out. And she found some major stuff going on with my body. So we're working on that. We're working on that. So what do you have around you, within you? Just one thing that you have an inclination about. You have an inkling that's keeping you held back. That you're kind of holding on into in this old world as an example. That once you say, give yourself the grace to be done with it. Let yourself be okay with being done with it. Right? Let yourself have the grace to be done with it. It goes. And then you open up this space for all this new to come in. Right? Can it be as simple as teaching your child how to do some laundry so you don't have to do it? I was teaching my kids when they turned 12. They were old enough. They were mature enough. Take some pressure off of you, ladies. What can you delegate? Take some pressure off, ladies. It's time to free up your space. It's time to free up some of your space, some of your energy, so you can start to recalibrate, reconnect, recommit to self. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. And it's okay to do it. I give you permission if that's what you need. What can you let go of? And will you? Allow yourself the grace to let go. To say no. Or maybe to say a yes to something else. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us today. I hope this helped. I hope you got some little pearl of wisdom. That's always my intention, for me to be able to drop, even if it's just a pearl. It's worth the hour of spending this time with you. Hopefully, yeah, it was informational transformation. Thank you. Have a wonderful week ahead, and allow grace to come and visit you. Cheers, everyone.